Hello, hello. Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. I'm Laura Lee.
And I'm Helena. Hello.
Hello. And we do have a third in the room today.
Yes.
He might be cooing, but we are now recording after I have had a little baby. Last time we
Welcome to the show, Felix.
right? He's hanging
Yeah.
out. Oh, for those of you not listening, if you're watching, he's on screen now. But yeah, I had a baby on April 11th when he said he was going to come.
And that is, I think actually we need to do almost a whole episode about this whole,
I think we do.
the whole experience.
Yeah.
The whole experience.
Yeah. I had his birth chart plugged in, and I had it at 6:15 a.m. on April 11th, and he came at 6:46 a.m. And I was literally 31 minutes off.
Oh my God.
Which I'm actually really excited about because he would have been an Aries rising, and instead he chose a Taurus rising, which I am eternally grateful for.
Yeah, because he has an Aries sun and moon already.
Yeah, he showed up on the Sun conjunct Jupiter day. Exactly. So he is an Aries Sun conjunct Aries Jupiter to the exact degree, like within minutes. And I was like, all right. And he's got a strong Sagittarius moon that's trying to his Sun Jupiter conjunction. Yeah. So we got some fire.
That's crazy. And how did you ask the pendulum for the chart, or how did you get that chart?
I think I did ask the pendulum. Yeah. Yep. I did. I honed in on that. He did tell me that Sagittarius moon. I did muscle testing with that. And so he did tell me Sagittarius moon. And every time I would think about when he was coming, I kept getting 10/11, 10/11. And I thought, well, I bet you labor is going to start on the 10th, and then I'll probably have him the morning of the 11th. And that's exactly how it did happen. Oh my God.
And did you on the night of the 10th, were you like, okay, it's about to start soon, you know?
Well, it just like started. Like it was just like that. Like I'm getting a little bit like maybe I'm not gonna. I don't know, right? Like I'm starting to question. And then it was about 10 o'clock at night. I was sitting there in the rocking chair and just having some tea, and I got hit with a contraction, and I went, "Oh, that was real. Like that was real." And then another one came, and I was like, maybe we should start timing these. And by 11:30, I was trying to go to bed, but I was like, had the phone next to me and was timing them. And by 2:30, we called the midwife, and we're like, okay, these are for real, for real. You should get out here now. So yeah. And ta-da. So Felix Ender Lotto is our fifth and final, and everything went great. It was, I mean, as far as birth goes, it was phenomenal. And he's been an amazingly phenomenal baby as far as nursing and sleeping and all of that. So I'll take it. I'll take it. The postpartum recovery has been a little interesting, especially through all of these like eclipse season and the transition from Aries into Taurus. And that's been interesting for me. But as far as baby goes, it's been good, really good with him. So yeah.
I love that name, Ender.
Yeah, Philip and I are big into a book series where the main character is named Ender, and we have by Orson Scott Card, and we have followed this series for a while. And then when you looked it up, and it's Turkish, and it means rare one. And one of the best trips Philip and I have ever taken was to Turkey in 2016. Him and I went to Turkey, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful trip. And we just really resonated with the energy in the country and the places we visited. So when we found out that's what Ender meant and where it was from, we were like, all right, cool. So ta-da. So we have Felix Ender Lotto. His name, actually, each name is 5 letters long, and he's the 5th baby. So I just thought that was fun. Like all those.
That's pretty crazy.
Weird symbolic things. Yeah.
That is crazy.
So now I'm just getting back into the real life.
Well, I don't know. I feel like what you went through was pretty real.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was real. It was definitely real. But yeah, we'll have
Maybe
to do
more.
a whole other recording on that because
Yes.
it was. Oh my gosh, we'll talk about transitions and all my 12th house shit and
Mm.
how that energy showed up for me big time. But this week we're going to talk about May. May's got some crazy stuff happening.
Mm. It does. When I looked at the transits for May, it just didn't, because I was taking notes, and it just, the note taking didn't stop. It was just like, okay, here and here and here, and then this and this and that, and
Yeah,
oh shit.
like it just keeps going. It kind
Yeah.
of feels like it did in March where there was just one thing after another after another.
Yeah. It's been a lot, and we should just run through them, but we might not stop so long on each transit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
So, and you probably can hear my children running around screaming outside. It's the first fairly nice day in Wisconsin here. So we kicked them out. So they're
Good
outside
idea.
running around in the nice weather and playing with their new bouncy balls they just got. So we start off in May 1st. We've got a Mars sextile Uranus. So, how would you describe a sextile energy to people who don't know that energy?
Yeah, so I like to quote you. It's like that gift that you're dumb about.
Yeah.
That you just have it, but you don't realize you have it because it's so easy and so accessible.
Yeah.
So you don't even think about it. It's like, you see someone who's really good at drawing or something. And
Yeah.
you're like, wow, you're really good at that. And like, what do you think? Ah, I never thought of it. It's just a gift that they have, but they never even thought twice about it. But
Exactly.
it probably has served them really well in a lot of ways and been able to use it, but they just never really thought about it.
Yeah, it's not this conscious awareness. So I have a book called Past Life Astrology. I've been reading it, and the sextiles are described as like a gift you are given in this lifetime for previous lifetimes when you had to really work hard at it, right? Like this is kind of like your karmic gift that you can then use to work on the other hard karma, right? The other stuff that you need to clear. So this is like a almost like a benevolence that is bestowed upon you because in past lifetimes you've had to work really hard at it or healing it or working on it, and now this life, like, you got it, like you
All
got it
right. It's
good.
like you earned a point.
Yeah, like you get
Yeah.
this like freebie card.
Yeah,
Right? So when there's transits like that, that's a flow of energy. It's like an easy conversation. So we start off May with Mars, which is our drive, our passion, our fight. And it's going to be sextile in Uranus, which is all about independence and change making. So we've got our drive to make independent changes and shifts starting off May. So if you're feeling like, hey, I could use a change in life, May 1st would probably be a good
yeah,
good
yeah.
day to start off.
And I also think that it could be like a fun energy to to go out and party and meet people, because you could,
For sure.
end up in fun places. You have that Mars drive,
Yeah,
which is also brings that sexual energy,
for sure.
which you don't have to use just to have sex.
Right.
It's like just this energy, and then sextiling Uranus, this weirdo energy, this
Yeah.
weirdo vibe, and I think it could be a few good, like, fun, interesting meetings around this
I
day.
just got an image of karaoke, of people doing
Yeah,
karaoke.
yeah.
Like, just get up and try it. Like, why not? If that's
Yeah.
something you've never done before but always wanted to, do it.
Find
And
a
then that
weirdo
same
and
day,
sing.
the sun conjuncts Jupiter that same day. So we've got a really big energy there. And then we've got Pluto going retrograde. And Pluto's going to make a trek back into Capricorn.
Yes.
Whew, that is quite the way
Yeah.
to start off the month.
Yeah. May 1st, Pluto retrograde. And so, as you know, Pluto went into Aquarius a few weeks ago now. Let's see, when was
Yeah,
it? 2,
March
3 weeks ago?
23rd.
Okay, yeah. And a lot of things have been happening in the world,
Holy
global
man.
politics. Yes, a lot. And this trek back into Capricorn, we will sort of get to review everything that's happened.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of the major changes and shifts that's happening, a lot of these strikes.
Yeah. Strike.
Yeah. Those things, I think we will get some answers to, or like see the consequences and the repercussions of everything that happened. Get to
Exactly.
rethink these things and maybe do it properly, because it's a retrograde, so you get to redo the things and evaluate. And
I think as it goes back into Capricorn, every time I think of Capricorn, I think of a foundation, right? The foundation of a home or a barn that's built on stones and mortar and all of that. So I feel like as Pluto entered into Aquarius, got its toes wet and said, okay, here's what I'm looking to change, right? We have a lot of issues in America with women's rights, rights to their bodily autonomy, all of that stuff. We've got France is clearly upset about the changes in the retirement age. We've got farmers in the Netherlands striking and making their own political party system. We've got Iranian women that are saying, forget this shit, right? Like this, the world is shifting and governments are changing who they work with, right? And finances are shifting as well. And we have to look back at what happened last time, which is when the French Revolution happened. America established their banking institutions and banking system, which was founded on debt. Like that is how the American financial system basically was created, was a debt system. So now we're starting to really look at how that's affecting us now as we go back into Capricorn. I think we're going to look at the foundation of what we've built upon and really decide where some major shifts need to take place. Maybe we do a whole huge overhaul of our government, and maybe we don't have, lobbyists in the government anymore. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think during this last little trek through Capricorn, we're going to really be establishing or renovating, or whatever word you want to use, a new a new foundation, and really recognize where some massive shifts need to happen. And then once January hits, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, I think that's when
in
bam,
2024.
Change is going to be big.
Yeah.
That's my interpretation.
This is extra big for the States, because you have a Pluto return.
Yep.
You're having a Pluto return at the moment.
Yeah.
So Pluto has made, like the last time Pluto was at this degree is when your country was founded, pretty much.
Pretty much, yep.
In the way that it is now.
Yeah. So that combined with this shift into Aquarius is so intriguing to me.
It is. Do you have an election this year?
2024.
Okay, yeah.
But it's starting to gear up. Like all the candidates are starting to come out of the woodwork, and very, very intrigued by all of this. So, with the retrograde starting again, with Pluto retrograde starting again, and the sun conjunct Jupiter, that's a lot of stuff going on. And then Mars and Uranus all on the first day. Then we've got a break for 3 days. And Venus is going to act up. So now Venus is going to talk to Jupiter again, and she's going to talk real nicely. So they're going to be in that sextile aspect, which is that it's a harmonious aspect. If you were to play a harmonic, sequence in that energy, in that degree, it's very nice sounding music. It's very peaceful sounding music. So when the planet of relationships, love, and money is talking in lovely to Jupiter, that's a damn good day to make shit happen.
Oh yeah, and that could be regarding finances, relationships, just about yourself as well. How, if you pampering yourself, stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, then that same day, not only is Venus talking to Jupiter in a lovely conversation, she's also kind of giving Neptune the cold shoulder. So she's like, I don't want to deal with you, Neptune, right now. So she's squaring Neptune and flirting over here with Jupiter, seeing what that's pretty much what's happening. So with the square, that might be some difficulties with learning to, being in love with yourself, or really seeing your relationships clearly, or seeing yourself clearly. So this can be a challenging aspect because Neptune kind of clouds things, makes
Mm,
things a little foggy.
yeah. It's hard to see when Neptune is there. And I mean, I can also see like Venus square Neptune, how you could, think that you're falling for someone, but then you don't know really who they are, and then they're not who you thought that they were.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that can trigger deeper issues within you of feeling unloved or victimized or ostracized. So it could trigger some core wounds that maybe need to be brought to the surface. So you could use this energy in a positive way to bring these kind of traumas and hurts up to the surface to deal with them and heal them.
Hmm.
You can use that Neptunian Piscean energy for healing as well. It doesn't just have to be the hurts. It can
Mm.
be both.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting day, May 4th. So may the 4th be with you all with your relationships. Good luck to you.
Yes, good
It's
luck, because
it'll
then,
it'll be interesting.
yeah. And then we're moving on to May 5th, and then we have a lunar eclipse in Scorpio.
Man,
So
eclipse
this is what we
season.
call like right now in the eclipse season, we had a solar eclipse
Mhm.
in Scorpio in
It
Aries.
was their Aries, yep.
Yeah, we had a solar eclipse in Aries a few weeks ago. And now we're having the second eclipse, which is the
Mhm.
lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And what happens during an eclipse, that energy sort of lasts, like the things that happen. Yeah, that energy stays for about 6 months, or it takes 6 months for it to unfold for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, what was triggered during the eclipses. So it's hard to also to see how an eclipse will unfold, because eclipses are like a firework.
Yeah.
Energy is going in all different directions. Or like put a firework inside like a tin can or something, and it's just like
Yeah. You know
goes
what I just
everywhere.
realized? The
Hmm.
eclipse is when I ended up getting that migraine, that postpartum migraine. And it
Oh,
was an
okay.
Aries, which rules the head.
It does.
And I'm
It
an
does
Aries
rule the head.
sun. Is very interesting. My brain just put that together right now. And now you're like 6 months from now. I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to see what's going to unfold. But it was kind of it was a very like dark night for me, real dark night. And, like just quiet internal energy. And I'm really curious to see what this lunar eclipse brings
Mm,
for me personally. It's so interesting to see how some of these eclipses
mm,
affect people so profoundly. And some people just kind of skate right through them. And this is why it's important for people to know their birth chart
yeah.
and to know where this energy is taking place. So, for you, Scorpio is a little bit of your seventh house, and it's half seventh and half eighth.
Mm,
So, knowing this could affect partnership, or this could affect some major transformation and change, depending on which house it's in for you, is important.
mm,
So people knowing their birth chart, checking their birth chart, this is where it really will show up for you
mm,
pretty strongly. So
yeah.
I'm very curious what this one does for me. Scorpio's in my 6th house. That's hell.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
We'll
And
see.
we will see. And what you also can think about is that whenever we have these eclipse seasons, they happen in twos, and they
Yep.
always happen on an axis, because it's on the full moon and the new moon.
Yep.
And so on the new moon, it was in Aries, and
Mhm.
opposite Aries um, is
Is
Scorpio.
Yep.
So you just look in your chart, what is supposed, like where are those, and it will be two opposite, directions,
Yep.
and it will be those. So like for me, it's in this eclipse season, it will be focusing on my first house and my seventh house.
Yep.
It's like the I and the we
The we.
for me.
Yep.
And you can look at your own chart and see where it ends up in there. For you, it's in the sixth house and the 12th house, maybe.
6th and 12th. Yep. So
Mm,
being of service to others, day-to-day work, and going internal and being private, which I've already just done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So knowing where these are going to take place in your chart will really help you understand how this will manifest for you and how this is going to show up for you. So, if you want to ever get a reading with us, that's what we can help you with and help you to understand.
Mm.
So this lunar eclipse in Scorpio can really bring up a lot of dark stuff from the bottom of the ocean that maybe stuff you thought you dealt with, right? Maybe stuff that you're like, "Oh, that was healed already. I already took care of that." But yet more
Or like,
garbage
I thought
floats.
I buried that
Yeah.
well enough.
I thought I planted that deep enough. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is the stuff that's going to come up to surface so that you can really do some deep cleansing, some deep transformation work. And this could be garbage from your past that, of sexual nature or secrets or lies that you just don't want to deal with, right? Like
Mm.
Scorpio kind of uncovers all of that
Yeah. Power
stuff.
struggles
Yep.
also, like
Oh
power.
yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I sense that this will be a very emotional day for many people on this
For
globe,
sure.
because Scorpio is very emotional. It feels deeply and dramatically.
Yeah.
Take the day off.
Take a day. Cinco de Mayo, take your day off and feel
Yes.
all of the feels. And this
Mm.
is a great day to do some kind of ritual release, some kind of calling in of new energy and letting go of old. Like really, whether it's actual burning ceremony where you write stuff down and burn it, or, maybe go for a swim in a cold lake or river, right? Like some
Mm.
kind of cleansing, renewing type process would be really beneficial on May 5th. So
Mm.
maybe put that in your calendar.
Yeah.
Even just taking a good bath, right? That would be nice too.
Yeah. I think like what I thought about with the previous eclipses, I really just put myself in the back seat, try to just be the observer and watch everything, because I knew it would be a hectic day.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was. So I just like had my observer glasses on and was like, okay, this is
Nice.
fine. This is just playing out. Let me just observe this day and not get involved, like not get triggered, because
Yep.
I was being tested all the time. But I was also very aware about that it was that this was happening, and so I'm gonna do the same for the 5th of May, and just uh, yeah, maybe go and take care of myself, take a bath or something, and just try and not, not do too much thinking.
Right?
Actually,
Just
yeah.
flow. Yeah, just flow
Mm.
with the deep scorpionic waters. It's almost like you're caught in a riptide. Just go with it, right? Don't fight it.
Yeah.
So 2 days after that, we have on the 7th, Venus is going into Cancer. So
Yeah.
she's been making her trek through Gemini, which actually is my 12th and then first house. So actually, I think it's at the time of this recording, Venus will be conjunct my rising sign tomorrow. And then she'll be making her way through my first house, which I can't tell you how excited I am about this.
Mm.
So let the money and relationships flow in.
Yeah.
Come on in. Right? So I'm really excited for her to be moving out of my 12th into my first, where she'll hopefully be much more active. And then she'll be entering Cancer on the 7th. And she seems to do a little better in Cancer versus in Gemini. And that's not necessarily her ruler, although she's ruled by Taurus and Libra. Cancer is another energy that I feel like fits Venus
Yes.
nicely.
Yes. Yeah. I agree. Totally. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this. It just feels like, yeah, having that lovely, lovely Venus energy in the sign of like Cancer, the home, the mother, yeah,
Nurturer and
the nurture.
loving. I feel like the connection here is this loving energy. Gemini
Mm.
gets a little airheaded, right? A little indecisive, a little, oh, I like you, I don't. I want to be with you, I
Mm.
don't, right? Like I understand this.
Yeah.
So Venus is a little indecisive in Gemini. And when she moves into Cancer, she gets more in tune, I feel like, with the energies and, oh, let's really snuggle, or let's like, this is a time to really connect with your loved ones, really be more nurturing to yourself, be
Mm.
more nurturing to your loved ones, and just in general, kind of more, oh, I want to say like more acts of service and more
Mm.
kindness in that, putting out more kindness and lovingness
Yeah,
energy. So
for sure.
that'll be a good day, the 7th. I like that.
Yeah, I see like also like redecorating your home and
Mm.
inviting your friends and having a little like get together and being the perfect host and just taking care of everyone and
Oh, I
making
like that.
amazing food and taking care of them.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Then we've got the 9th, 2 days later, May 9th. So the sun is going to conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So this is a big one. It's not going to
Mm.
last real long, but we might feel it the 8th, 9th, and 10th, right around that
Yeah.
time, is as the sun goes over that independent, crazy planet. Be prepared for some random shifts.
Yeah. Just be yeah. And random shit. Just be prepared for something random to happen. The sun is like that big flashlight
Yeah.
uh shining up that weirdo planet that is just very unexpected. So
Yeah. You
mm,
ever have that happen where you're sitting in a room facing somewhere not towards a window, and the sun comes in and it hits something across the way, and that something is reflected just right, and it like beams you in the eyeball, and you're like,
yeah.
ah, right? And you're not prepared for it because you're not facing towards the sun.
Mm,
The reflection is just right. That's what I feel like this energy shows up like. It's
yeah.
really like you're not, your eyes are fully dilated and open because you're not expecting it. And
Yeah.
then you get like boom right in the eyeball. And you're like, ah, this is what I feel like happens when the sun conjuncts Uranus.
Yeah.
It the energies merge together, and they do so in such an intense way.
Mm,
But how that shows up is anybody's guess.
yeah.
Take
I
take it.
mean, you can try. It would be fun to try and guess, but you probably won't be
Right, no.
because you never know. Because it's always the one that's like, I had no idea that could happen.
Yeah, yeah. So it would be in a general Taurus energy. So this could be around relationships or food, or the price of things might shift, right? Like suddenly the price of this produce in the grocery store might skyrocket or completely fall, or what, like weird stuff like that. Grocery stores suddenly shifting, like there's all kinds of weird stuff that just you'll wake
Mm,
up and read the news, and you'll go, "Oh, that's how it showed up," right? It's
mm.
nobody knows.
Nobody knows, but it's fun also.
It is. It is. And usually Uranian transits and changes, I feel, are to shake things up and prevent stagnation,
Mm,
right? So we don't want things to be stagnant. And Taurus can kind of get a little stagnant.
mm,
So we want this energy of changing up our food system and changing up our agriculture system, because what we've got right now isn't working at
mm,
all. So I
mm.
think we need that highlight on this area for the next couple years. And when the
Yeah.
sun goes around it, it lights it up. So I'm excited for that. That's on
Mm.
the 9th. So that we'll be feeling that 8, 9, and 10. And then on the 12th, Venus is going to have a nice conversation with Saturn.
A lot of Venus things.
Lots of Venus. Yeah.
Mm,
And when she has a nice conversation with Saturn, I feel like that's a really, I don't know, like a really nice energy between maturity and
mm.
growing up
Yeah,
and money, and, how we relate to people, how we relate to ourselves. Like there's this grow up kind of energy.
it is.
And that feels good. It's time to be more responsible with relationships and
Yeah.
how we treat people and with money and how we work with it. And I like that.
A chance to mature
Yeah.
around those things. Yeah.
Yeah. And heal, as because Venus will be in that sign of Cancer. So, if you have relationships that need, maybe we caused some problems when Venus was in Gemini and we said some things that we didn't
Made
actually
some bad
mean.
decisions. Yeah.
Made some bad choices with our communication. Thanks, twins, Gemini. And maybe now we need to be mature and apologize. That
Yeah.
would be how that would show up. So if you need to apologize to someone, the 12th and 13th is a
Mm.
great day to do that.
Yeah. Everyone should apologize more. I feel like it's like one of the best things. It's so hard, but when you do it, you feel so good. Makes
Yeah.
me feel
It's
really
humbling.
good to apologize. Yeah. Yeah.
It's humbling. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 12th and 13th, if you need some humility in your life and you're working on that and you're setting your ego down, do it those 2 days.
Mm.
Oh, what's next?
Mercury direct, May the
Yeah.
14th. So I don't know. It feels like it's a long Mercury retrograde, but I mean, I guess it's always around 3 weeks. It's just that this one has been tough. We're right
Yes.
smack in the middle right now, and it's a little tough. I mean, yeah,
It is. It is.
it's
Well,
it is
and
what it is.
Mercury in Taurus is tough. It's a tough-minded energy. You know,
Mm.
people with Taurus Mercury natally, I gave birth to this with my firstborn, and now my last one is actually this as well. Both of my boys have
Yeah.
this placement, and they're tough-minded people. This
Mm.
is very solid thinking, solid-minded, and they do change their mind after significant convincing and time. But it is a tough energy to really kind of get through their thick skull. They got a thick skull. And so as Mercury has been retrograding back in Taurus, I feel like that's a little bit of humility, a little bit of like,
Mm.
okay, let's look and see where maybe we should make some changes. So
Yeah.
now when Mercury goes direct, we can s- slowly make those adjustments. That's my interpretation of this stubborn placement.
Yes, for sure.
Oh,
So
I deal with it
Mercury
daily.
direct on the 14th.
And Mars is trining Neptune that day, and Jupiter is squaring Pluto. Holy macaroni.
Yeah, where do we start?
So Mars and Neptune having a good conversation. That feels nice. So we've got Neptune opening up maybe some spiritual ideas with Mars, maybe our drive to step into our woo, step into our
Hmm.
artistry. Maybe we start a new art project or art thing that day,
Hmm.
start doing some music lessons, right? Neptune rules all
Yeah.
of that kind of artistic stuff.
Yeah, and I also feel like Mars is very much the body, and
Mm.
Neptune is very much everything that is not the body. So this is like having a good conversation. So
Oh,
it's
I like
great
that.
to really listen to your gut,
Yeah.
because your subconscious will be telling your body what's, the truth.
Yeah.
Very like extra loud this day.
That feels really good. If you are looking to start a meditation practice or a new spiritual practice or really dive in, May 14th would really be a good kickoff day for that, especially with Mercury going direct. And then that Mars Neptune trine, like you said, that connection with the spirit and the body. That's a beautiful description of it. Yeah, I love that.
Hmm.
And then Jupiter is squaring to Pluto. So we have to create some awareness around tension to make changes, right? So Jupiter wants us to expand and grow, and Pluto is about power and change. And they might be fighting a little bit or having a
Hmm.
little bit of a tension with how big we get or how much change we do or how much power. There might be
Hmm.
some conflict there.
Yeah,
So we
for
have to
sure.
create some
Like
awareness around that.
yeah, 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 definitely.
And
I feel
then
like Jupiter is like, like when you just think that you make plans and you think that you make these grand plans and you think that all of them will happen and everything will just flow beautifully. Like all of these amazing things will happen. Why wouldn't it? And
right,
then on the other hand, you have Pluto.
saying no.
That is, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, power struggles, transformation, and
Yep. Yep. And
so
recognizing when things need to be let go
yeah,
and when
that's a
we
good
need to
one.
grow, because Pluto is about that death and rebirth cycle. So,
Yeah,
um, letting stuff go that isn't serving us so that we can grow.
yeah, yes.
And then the 16th, Jupiter is going to move into Taurus. He's been trekking through Aries for a while. And then we're going to feel a big shift then.
Jupiter in an earth sign. So Jupiter has just spent a long time in Aries. Aries is a fire sign. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's very much like a fire starting energy. This little kid running around. It's like, wow, I'm gonna try everything and not thinking about the consequences, but starting a lot of things.
Yep. Yeah, great at starting, not so great at finishing.
No, but great at continuing is Taurus, because Taurus is tenacious and just keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. And Taurus is also a sign that is ruled by Venus. You know, all of that sensual, nice, comfortable things. Like, you know, I always think of like lying on a sofa being fed grapes or something like that, wrapped in like velvet, you know, or maybe being fed chocolate, probably. That's Taurus to me. And then Jupiter being here, like expanding this energy. I like that. And Taurus being this like very follow through sign. Okay, so what did we start? Let's make a list about all the things we started. What can we continue? What darlings do we have to kill? You know,
right? What should we continue, really? And Taurus is, I should say, I sometimes like the pace of Taurus. Sometimes it drives me nuts, but I sometimes like the pace of Taurus because it is so diligent. It just keeps moving forward in a slow, steady rhythm. It's not necessarily a burnout kind of energy because they pace themselves. It really paces themselves. So Jupiter moving here, I think, will take all of the stuff we started in Aries and it will selectively choose which ones are really the important ones to put effort into, and then let go of the other ones that were more like, well, that was a good idea, but maybe next time, you know?
Yeah, because Taurus is so good at being realistic. So
yeah,
earthy.
Practical.
Yeah.
Aries is not so practical.
No. Everything's fun.
Yep. So I think this will be a really nice time. And this is, for us in Wisconsin, this is garden season. This is like right when we plant the garden and get everything cultivated. And like, this is such a great entrance for Jupiter into Taurus. I really look forward to this one. And
yeah, me too.
This will be here for most of the rest of the year, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Does it take 12 years to go around the zodiac?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like a year, I guess a year. If sometimes planets move faster in some signs and slower in others, but around a year, I guess it will stay here.
And depending on their retrogrades and stuff too.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it because of the kind of that slow and steady wins the race kind of energy. I feel like I need that right now way more than Jupiter and Aries. Like, it's been fun. Thanks so much. I'm done with you now.
Yeah, it can get yeah, I mean it's great, but it's also like when my progressed moon moved from Aries to Taurus, I was relieved. When it was maybe 6 months to go still with progressed moon in Aries, I was really done. I felt like it was too much. It was too many new things. Starting
Yeah,
things.
it gets overwhelming. It gets really overwhelming. And I feel like the last time Jupiter was in Aries, I was pregnant and had a baby. And this time I was pregnant and had a baby. And I was like, I swear to God, in 12 years, I better not be pregnant and have a baby.
Wow.
No, we're not doing that again. So seriously. So the last 2 cycles, Jupiter and Aries literally made me bigger, right? Like, I physically got bigger. Yeah. And I'd like to not do that again. Maybe my business can get bigger.
Yeah,
and maybe
I was thinking about that. You can get bigger in other ways.
Right. There can be other ways for sure. So yeah, enjoy the entrance there on May 16th. I think that'll be good for everybody. And then the 17th, Jupiter's going to square Pluto. again, still. So he's going to still be doing that. That's the 14th, 15th, 16th. So he's going to be hanging out in that square energy. But then the sun is going to sextile Neptune. And again, that's this like really easy energy, this good flow of energy. And whenever the sun is having good conversations with other planets, it's like you said, it lights it up. It kind of just like
Yeah.
when the clouds move off of the sun and you get this nice warmth on your skin, and you're like, ah, that feels
Yeah.
good. It's a really
Yeah.
good feeling. So this is a great day again to connect with your intuition, to really dive into your spiritual practices, to dive into the growth and expansion of your consciousness on different levels, whether you're practicing, a specific meditation or doing shaman school or yoga or whatever it is. These are great days to really lean into that more or start something new in that department to kind of get really in tune with that mind, body, spirit connection.
Yeah. Yeah. The sun is so much your identity, and then that having a good conversation with, again, the unknown and the subconscious, it will be great to maybe you will learn something new about yourself through
Right.
listening
Yeah,
in,
absolutely.
tweaking something.
All right. So then we're gonna wrap it up with the next few days of May are kind of crazy. 19,
Yeah,
20, and 21. There is so much going on.
there
So just
is.
maybe circle those days in your calendar and just put like for practicality purposes, like we can go through
Yeah.
all of these certainly, but for practicality purposes, just take note the 19th, 20th, and 21st are busy, astrologically busy. And so
Mm,
your job as a human in Earth School is to create awareness around that energy shifting and not get sucked into it. But like you said, when you were going through the eclipse, being like the observer,
mm,
watching it like you would watch a parade or watch a TV show, or watch Dancing with the Stars or whatever. You don't go and dance on the floor with them. You observe it. There's a time and a place to join in and dance. Absolutely. But maybe when it's really, really, really busy, you let some of the traffic go first.
yeah. Yeah.
And the 19th, 20th, and 21st is really busy astrological traffic days.
Mm.
So, wow. Where do you want to start? The 19th. What's going on then?
Yeah. So on the 19th we have Mars opposite to Pluto. So we have your drive and that that drive energy, that like, let's go ahead, we're gonna do this. Da, da, da. It can be a little bit aggressive. I want to find a new word for aggressive. I guess it is drive. I guess that's the word. Drive.
I think, yeah, and there could be some major power struggles this day too.
Yes. Very much. Because Mars rules Aries, and so like Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, also has that sort of impatient energy,
Mm-hmm.
and the little bit me first sort of energy. And Pluto is a lot about power struggles. And Mars and Pluto, those are two very powerful planets. They have some similarities, and then them two actually being opposite to each other in the chart really creates that power struggle.
Yeah, it can increase your desire to achieve, really. That's the desire and then the achievement, that's Pluto and Mars. And so if you are really working towards something, the 19th, because it's that Mars opposition Pluto and it's a new moon, this is a great like launch day. Whatever you're working on, being ready to launch on the 19th would utilize that energy in a really positive way instead of going into the negative kind of power struggle. You can go into the positive, like launching whatever you're doing, right? Like push the power out instead of against something.
Yeah. See, yeah, exactly. That's what, when you wake up and you start feeling some things and some things happen, and then you go and check your calendar and you're like, okay, here we go, Mars opposite Pluto. How
Yeah.
can I turn this around and use it in the best way possible?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm picturing like a rocket launch. You're launching it up and out of the atmosphere. If you took that rocket and launched it into something, it's crazy destructive. But if you launch it up and out, it's exploratory and new things and new ideas. But it's the direction of the power, right? The direction of the intensity. So be aware and don't take it out on your family or friends.
Yeah. Or yourself.
Or yourself.
Yeah.
And then the new moon in Taurus that day is definitely a
Exactly.
day to start something and call in new energy and manifest new stuff. So again, this is a great month to really be launching a new spiritual practice. With the 14th and Mercury going direct, and then the 19th, and there's just a lot of Neptunian energy that's positive and a lot of new energy that can help you on that spiritual journey, on that awakening. I feel like in general, the collective is kind of waking up to new ways of thinking and functioning and taking care of themselves and doing mental health and all of that. So this would be a good month to really get yourself into a healthier ritual or routine or prayer or service or whatever works for you,
Yeah. For sure.
So the 20th.
20th of May, we have Sun sextile Mars, we have Mars square Jupiter, we have Mars going into Leo, and still Mars opposite Pluto. And you can think of it like this, like the further a planet is away from the sun, the longer the transit will last. Because it just, because that makes sense.
Yep. So that's a lot going on the 20th. So we've got Sun sextile Mars. Again, the sun's lighting up that Mars energy and that desire we have and that drive we have to take action.
Yeah.
So again, starting something new, working on doing things that light you up. What desires do you have for your own, health and your own spiritual practices and your own career and whatever you're working on? The 20th, the sun is going to really light that up for you. So another like good action day.
Yeah.
And then of course the Mars enters Leo. So ta-da.
Holy moly.
Action.
Drama queen. Yeah, drama queen in action.
Yeah. And look at me, right? Leo wants to be seen.
Yeah.
So again, the 19th and the 20th, if you are working on something that is in like getting close to launch mode, this is a great time to do it. Whether you're launching new services, doing new pricing, launching new collaboration ideas, launching whatever. This is a really good time of like, and out there,
Yeah. I mean, Mars loves being, if Leo is the stage and Mars is, Mars is Mars, Mars likes being on that stage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Being draped in glitter and
Sequins.
having that sequence and moving around, being all like sexy and dancing, maybe. I don't know.
I picture like Lady Gaga. Picture.
Yeah.
Elton John,
flamenco.
Yep.
I think flamenco. Yeah.
Flamenco for sure. And then the next day, the 21st, we have the sun trining to Pluto. So again, we've got a lovely conversation between the sun and this transformation planet of Pluto and this power planet of Pluto. So again, more power, more energy of change and something new, rebirthing something. And the sun enters Gemini, which is all about communication, talking, putting yourself out there, friendships, networking.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so that the season in Sweden as well, like I guess in the northern hemisphere, the sun has really warmed up the cities, and you can put on that little tank top or whatever. You don't need a jacket, and it's warm enough to be out at night, and you stay out longer, and
you can officially put all your winter hats away.
Yeah, officially. And people are just hanging out in, on the streets, in bars, whatever, going to parties, socializing. This is what happens at this season.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. So yeah, 19, 20, and 21, if you are ready to go with something, it's go time those days. Those are when you really want to take action to utilize the energy of the planets. But then the 23rd, we've got Mars squaring Jupiter. So we got a little bit of like, keep your ego in check. This could be an ego gets out of hand thing. So be careful when you do launch something that you don't get too big for your britches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Keep your humility about you. Especially the 23rd. Maybe be mindful of any tension that's building that day and censor the things that come out of your mouth. I feel like Jupiter and Mars can get you into big trouble when you speak what you actually are feeling and thinking inside.
Yeah, because Jupiter is a little bit like it's a little like silly optimistic sometimes. Like, I guess just blah 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 blah, could just be talking and not realizing that
it doesn't think
it's hurtful, or it's for sure.
Yeah. So then be kind of a little extra humble on the 23rd. The 25th, what do we got going that day?
On the 25th, we have Venus sextile Uranus. Didn't we have this in the beginning of the month? No, Venus sextile Jupiter.
Yeah, now we got the weirdo.
We do. I thought we had something with Uranus and Venus in the beginning. No, it was Mars and Uranus. Okay, now we have Venus and Uranus. Yeah, I like it when you have anything like sextiles or trines with Uranus, because Uranus energy is really fun and unpredictable and exciting, and it can be scary when it's in harder aspects because you don't know what's going to happen, and it might be you have to, maybe it might be a struggle for you, and it might be a real hurdle to get over. But when you have a sextile, use that weird energy, because we all have an inner weirdo, and I feel like with the sextiles to Uranus, especially with Venus, it's just a really nice energy. And
it allows you to be more independent and more free, more yourself, your true self.
Yeah.
Right? Within relationship, you can kind of just be your weirdo self and feel good about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And we're almost at the end. We have one more transit to talk about. And that is starting on the 26th, and it's a Sun square to Saturn.
This one can be a little tough.
Yeah. You have your Sun, your identity, that, flashlight in that harder aspect to Saturn, which is, maturing and your life lessons and all of those things. So yeah, it will be a day just to be mindful of it.
I think also like making sure you're doing your grown-up stuff, right? Making sure you're paying your mortgage on time, making sure you're taking care of your bills and you're not letting anything slide by, right? This is when the Sun kind of like, I like to think of Sun square Saturn time as, this is like your check-in with your accountant, or like if the inspector comes over to check your apartment or whatever, you know what I mean? Like this is just to make sure you've been doing all the things you're supposed to be doing to be a grown-up on Earth school, right? Like making sure you're checking the oil in your car and taking care of, all of the things that are grown-up things.
Yeah.
This is where I see this energy is like, this is your universal reminder to change your oil in your body, change your oil in your car, make sure your bills are paid, make sure your checking account is good and you're balancing your checking. You know what I mean? Like just like grow up here.
Yeah. And that's really good to think of it like that, because the sun, like, it is representing your identity, and also with that your ego.
Yeah.
So this is a very humbling aspect. You
Yes.
know, you'll be feeling that ego of yours getting triggered and
Mhm.
questioned, and oof, you know, that can be tough. That is tough.
It is
I
tough.
felt that today. It was tough
It is,
and humbling.
and when you have this energy that needs some humility and needs some humbling, that is where we breathe, right? This is
Mm,
in the reality of life. This is where we feel the trigger and we take a deep breath and we take another deep breath and we keep taking deep breaths until the trigger passes. And then
mm,
we analyze the trigger. We don't have to act on it. And this is where the maturity happens, right?
yes.
So a lot of people, when they get astrology readings and stuff, they struggle to apply it to daily life. What does this look like
Mm,
when Sun squares Saturn? Well, it looks like closing your mouth and taking deep breaths. Like, for real. I mean,
mm,
this is what this is, and it needs you to grow up and choose to respond in a mature way, not react in the old programming way that doesn't serve you anymore. You get to choose how you respond to situations, right? And if somebody hacked into your checking account and you didn't check it and now you've got a bunch of money taken out, you can react and throw things and, have a tantrum, or you can go, "Okay, I better call the bank and get this taken care of." Right? Like,
mm. Yeah,
and get your head on straight in a really, I like to think, in a really Capricorn way, right? Be very logical about this and very um kind of frugal about it and be like, let's really analyze this before we overreact, right? Capricorns tend to not overreact, at least not too often, because they really analyze. So you need
yeah.
to analyze things during this time. And when the sun is
Mm,
like, you got a flashlight like the sun and you're shining it on specific things, you're analyzing smaller bits. So
yeah.
wherever Saturn is hanging out in your chart, right? So Saturn's going through Pisces. So if wherever Pisces is in your chart, that's where it's going to be lit up the most and activated.
Mm,
So we might have to do some maturity around healing past traumas or lineage issues, or generational stuff might creep up, and that's not comfortable. So we want to breathe
yeah, always.
and then breathe again.
Yeah,
Fun stuff. Saturn lessons. I really do like
yeah,
Saturn. Not all the time, but most of the time.
yeah. Good for you, Laura.
Right? I
Yeah,
know.
today I'm like, I mean, of course I love Saturn, but I mean, Saturn rules my chart.
Yeah, he does. You better learn to like him.
It's a tough relationship we got going, but we're learning. I'm learning.
Right? So
Mm,
that's what we're here to do in Earth School, is learn.
yeah,
So it's a busy month, and
it is.
there's a lot going on. So circle the dates we went through and, make notes in your calendar. I think that's been the most helpful for me since I've really been doing
Mm,
astrology. I haven't been doing much in the past until we started doing this with podcasts, but I haven't really paid much attention to the transits.
mm,
And now that I am and I have them in my calendar,
mm,
I pencil them in. It
mm.
helps me to go, "Oh, okay, that's going on today."
Yeah,
And I just, put a footnote in the back of my head.
but it's
And
just like a weather report. It's like, is it going
yes.
to be rainy today? Okay, I'll put on my raincoat.
Yes. I love that. It's
Is it
like a
going to be
weather
sunny?
report.
Is it going to be really hot? I'll stay inside. It will be
Right.
too hot for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like that. I love that it's an astrological weather report.
Mm,
So again, we've got the first, it's launching off the 4th, May 5th. May 4th and 5th are pretty big with the lunar eclipse going on the 5th in Scorpio. The 7th, Venus goes into Cancer. The 9th, the sun is conjunct to Uranus. So you let your inner weirdo out. The 12th, Venus is trine to Saturn, and 12th and 13th. The 14th, Mercury goes direct, so we can start thinking clearly again. And Mars is going to trine Neptune that day as well. And then the 16th, we have Jupiter going into Taurus. So be prepared for the biggest planet to shift and slow down. And then
Yes.
the 17th, we've got Jupiter squaring off with Pluto, and the sun is sextile to Neptune. So that's a great day to tune into your intuition, really get connected with spirit. And then we got some big ones, 19, 20, 21, new moon in Taurus, sun sextiles Mars, Mars goes into Leo, and then the 21st, sun enters Gemini. Whew. And then the 23rd, Mars is squaring Jupiter. The 25th, Venus is sextile to Uranus. And 26 to 28, the sun is squaring Saturn. So that is quite the recap. Holy man.
It is. And just if you're wondering why we haven't mentioned Mercury or the moon, is because we didn't we left them out because they move fast.
They move real fast.
And it would just be too much to talk about.
Yeah, this was enough.
Yeah.
This was enough. Well, thank you for joining us for this trek through May 2023 to see what's going on. We will be back again with who knows what. We never know what we're going to talk
about. I want to talk about the baby and
Yeah,
the
we gotta
birth
do that.
and the spirit baby.
The spirit baby, for
The
real.
spirit baby. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had another thing, past life thing come through. I got to tell you about too. Another
Okay.
woo-woo thing.
Keep it for next week.
Yep, we
Save
will.
it. Yeah.
There's a little preview for next week.
Ooh.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And if you are a fan of the show and you want to support us financially, feel free to buy us a coffee.
Yeah. How do you do that?
That link is in the show description. And yeah, you just click on that and send us some money, I guess.
Amazing. That's how it works. No, but we would love it. Or just tell your friends about us. Yeah. Or share something on Instagram if you like what we're talking about and what we're doing, because we really like it and we love that you like it, and we would love for more people to find us.
Yeah, and if you do a review, that helps people find us. So
yeah,
take like 30 seconds and plop in a little review. That would mean so much. We'd super appreciate it. Well, thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.